All right. Here we go. We are live. Man, oh man, did I miss you guys? Here we are. All right, we're there. Woo, fired up today. All right, sweet. Here we go. Haven't been live since August, so it's been an incredibly long time. We got some people backstage that I'm going to bring up, but what I wanted to do before we dive into that is I wanted to cover some of the stuff going on with the which I don't need these. I wanted to cover some of the stuff with the community, right? So I know that right now the macro economy isn't looking that great, but I'll tell you what, in our community, we're doing very well, which even kind of surprises me sometimes. Like you start falling down the rabbit holes of just what's going on from a macro perspective, and obviously then all the noise layers on top of that, and you're like, wow, yeah, man, maybe things aren't that great right now, but we've got people getting, hundreds of thousands of dollars in new credit. So I wanted to shout some people out. So first off, we just crossed over 24,000 subscribers on the channel. So thank you. It is all because of you guys. I know that in the last month or two, we really haven't been uploading that much new content on YouTube. There's a reason for that. There's other projects that I'm now involved in, and this was always like a side project. Okay. And then secondly is I recognized early on that this was kind of an issue. And so brought on a team, and we've got new partners, Emma and Tim and Nick and a handful of other people. And so there's a rebrand and a whole redo essentially happening on the walletmonkey.io website, which let me bring that up real quick, because I know some people have been asking about what's going on with the site. The site is actually good. The site is good. Let me show you that. Here it is right here. So the site's good. But you might have to either clear your cache or try a different browser or try in incognito mode to just go to walletmonkey.io. So you might be having remnants of issues with the SSL certificate when you move over hosting and make some big changes to the domain. It will show that it's vulnerable, and it will show that it's unsecured. And so it'll tell you to go away. And then some of the antivirus and stuff might actually be kicking up for some of you guys. I don't know. I have malware bites, and it seems to do fine on the site now, but there's a period of time where it didn't. So Ron asked before we even went live that the website, what's going on with the website? Here it is. It's all still there. All these core pages that you guys know and love will be there. Those aren't going anywhere. Okay. We're just going to make design changes. And then I think structure and flow is going to change a little bit, but I'm leaving that all up to them. Because this is their experience, right? Their experience is SEO, and we obviously need that. And I suck at it. I've always been honest about that. So anyway, that's that. And then here's another core page that you guys absolutely love, which is the master credit lender list. Boom, look at all that data. Okay. So first off, thank you again, 24,000 subscribers. That's big. That's big for me. And so hopefully we continue to grow even bigger and greater. The stuff on our channel, let me just address this really quick. The material on our channel is evergreen. Okay. Stuff that we shot, like the ultimate guides that we shot in 2022, 2023, believe me, 85 to 95% of that is still accurate, valid, good to go. Some of the little details might have changed. Is it a hard pull still or a soft pull here? Here's a backdoor way in. Some of that stuff might have changed, but the overarching fundamentals of what we're talking about has stayed the same. And the thing that I want to stress here is that there's a core thread in everything that we talk about. All of our videos, it's a very different kind of channel, right? And we try not to subscribe to the hype and the clickbait and all the other stuff. I get that works. I get that draws attention, and that's fine for other people. I don't want to do that. And I never wanted to do that. I wanted to build something off of not doing that. Okay. So anyways, I just want to make sure that that's crystal clear. But if you pay attention to enough videos, there was one guy who watched over 70 hours of Wallet Monkey content and then went out and got over $300,000 in credit for himself. There's a common thread and theme running across all of our videos and our channel. And that deeper structure, that foundation, those things about what we're talking about, playing the long game, taking this as over a lifetime instead of over a year type of game is there's a lot to be taken away from that, man. It's what I wanted to create with these videos and this channel was something that, that book that you read and you feel like you can come back to it every single year and you get something new out of that book. That's what I wanted to create. By the way, my dogs are going nuts. So we're gonna have pool guy going. I got my wife training upstairs. So just bear with me. This is very, to a degree, ad hoc. Like I kind of like set this up spur of the moment. So I appreciate all of you that are tuning in right now. But so that's all that stuff. So big changes coming to the website. Hopefully it'll be a better experience, more streamlined. And some of the pages that kind of like went missing and disappeared, we basically just shut those pages off. They're looking to bring all that back. So hopefully the website will be a better experience for you guys, right? So that's pretty much all that's changed there. Next thing I want to state is you guys should all be in a Discord. Everyone on the YouTube, I know that you might not like Discord, or Facebook might be your thing, or Telegram, whatever. I know that there's a million social media channels, but you guys should be in the Discord. And the reason why I say that is because, first off, it's free. Now, you're not going to get full access to every single channel, but what you can get access to for free is stupid. I'm sorry, but it's mental, absolutely mental. The quality of people that we have in there. And I can say this a million times, but you're just not going to really feel that until you get in there and give it a shot. So what I say is, don't listen to me. Instead, try it for yourself, right? And put me to the test. Try and make me a liar, right? Go in there and just see for yourself, and try it out. Please, man, please. Especially if you want to do something this year with your credit, right? Then you need to be diving into a community like this that's going to help support you. A lot of communities are not like this, okay? A lot of communities don't have access to these kind of people, man. Quality people that are doing really well financially and in other areas of their life, and then willing to talk and help you. Once somebody hits a certain level of success, whether it's 1 million, 10 million, 50 million, whatever, a lot of times, like, they're gone, man. Like, they don't care. They don't want to help anybody. They don't care. They made it. They climbed their way up the rungs, and they're gone. You'll never hear from them ever again. And our community is not like that, even though we've got some heavy hitters. And I don't like selling that aspect of it, but we do. And they're good people, man. And they want to see other people strive and thrive and have success. Okay, so anyways, I've talked enough. I've got a bunch of people that want to come up, but quick shout outs. So Dog, I know you're in the chat, bro. Congrats. This guy, I don't even know what he's at now over the last year in terms of fresh credit, but just got another 100 in the last couple of weeks. And I think he's got like 300,000 pending in BLOX right now. So my man is absolutely crushing it. He's blocking and tackling, bureau by bureau, went and did it right with building up his personal, built up a real business that makes real money, that shows real profit. And now he's reaping those rewards with going and getting, almost unlimited funding. I mean, this guy, I think, could go out and get millions of dollars in credit funding over the next couple of years on the business side alone. So shout out to Dog, shout out to Angie. Angie's been crushing it. Who else? Revan, of course. Ridley's crushing it. Yeah, and if I missed you guys, sorry. DJ is crushing it. But yeah, a lot going on. And there's 2 channels that you can check out in the free Discord. It is the Data Points channel and the Recent Wins. Just go take a look. There's all kinds of recent success stories from this month, April. March was kind of slow. January, February, March is kind of slow. But April, there's a ton of activity in there for sure. And so anyways, without further ado, let me throw on the headphones here and let's dive into this. All right. Because honestly, I have no clue what to talk about. So which is usually how I do these. I kind of have a few ideas in mind, and then, I ad hoc the rest. So 10 minutes of me talking. Let's bring up Rev. I'm going to bring you up. And Credit Kid just dipped out, but I think he's going to come back in. So you just got to unmute yourself and you'll be good to go. Rev, what's up, man?
How's it going?
Very, very good, man. Very, very good.
No, I saw it yesterday. I figured I'd touch in for the time I can, see if I could help out, or maybe someone has a question. And it's tough to answer questions in the chat because you can't go into all the finite detail, so I figured I'd come in here and maybe somebody have a question and see what's going on.
True. Yeah, I agree. The rough thing about texting is there's so much context missing, like I can give you a text answer, but to fill in the gaps and to get proper tone and all of that is just, and clearly it's a problem because we all face it on the internet, and that definitely is like a cheap way to communicate, texting. Sitting down with somebody or using voice is obviously going to be the best way to do it. But Danny boy, what's up, dude? Man, it's been a hot minute since I saw you. I hope all is good with the credit journey. Yeah, sweet. So DJ, yes, somebody in the Discord walked me through Wings. So Wings Financial, we did a video on them. still a good option. I don't think much has changed there. At least we haven't heard on the ground. Approved for a ton of stuff. Yeah, DJ is crushing it. He got some stuff with DCU. Oh, shout out to Eddie as well. Eddie's just such a stud, dude, in the Discord. He just drops random gems all over the place. So shout out to you, sir. Cool. Danny Boy's good. Billy, what's up? Michael, what's up? DJ, yep. Show, what's up? USA, my man. One of the original OGs. Ron Johnson, what's up? What else we got? Yeah, Michael. Okay, I think that's everyone. Nope. Liana, what's up? Oh, sweet. You're always in the comment section. Appreciate you. Chase, SWOT analysis. Anyone engaged in this? Are we talking about what is that for business? SWOT analysis? God, it's been a while since I heard that. All right, Credit Kid, let's bring you up. Sweet. All right, you just got to unmute. What's up, man?
Yo, what's going on, man?
All right, we got everybody in the house tonight, man.
Yo, we got everybody.
I'm loving this. This is how it should be, right? Because I think it's important to note that like credit is it is a team sport in a lot of ways. And it is because two reasons. One, it usually takes you a team to get there. You know, you got your significant other that's helping you. You've got people like us that are in your corner that are helping you. But more importantly is hopefully when all of that happens and you go and execute on the plan and you get all this credit funding is you then go and create something for your community, a small business. You inject that cash back into society in some sort of way, which then indirectly and directly benefits all of us. So like this really is a team sport in the most basic sense, right? Sweet. All right. So that's that. But yeah, and I think a lot of people need to remember that is like small businesses, we need more small business now more than ever. And I know that sounds like a hot topic talking point or something, but no, we really do. Especially after the lockdowns and stuff, like we need more cash being injected into society at the local level, at the small business level. And this is one way that we do it, right? This is why what we're working on and what we're doing is so important. And I mean, what's it now? 3 going on 4 years. We're still here, guys. We're still here. And I'll tell you what, I feel like we're just getting better and better with every day, every month that rolls on. But yeah, I don't know. What do you guys want to talk about? What is on your mind? Like, what are you guys seeing out there in the credit community that you want to address? How about we start with that? And you can go as deep or stay as politically correct as you would like. What do you guys think? Okay, I'll start. Okay, go ahead.
I'll say this. I'll tell people, and I mean, if they've listened to videos I've done with you and things of that nature, like there's a lot of clickbait in the last 4 or 5 years. There's a lot of things that'll draw you in, but there's also a lot of things that are said out there that'll get you in trouble. And then there's things without context. I cannot stand things without context in this credit space. And if people aren't giving you all the information and all the detail, it can sabotage you, right? I'll give you the perfect example, and I've said this in the videos with you. Like, I have nothing personal against anybody who's trying to make money. But if you're trying to make money at the expense of people, or you're purposely leaving information out, credit can destroy you, but it also can make you great, right? And it's why everybody's trying to get good credit, trying to get good credit limits, business credit, et cetera, hopefully, inevitably, right? But things like so let's say I've spoken to people on social media, like the Radical Marketer. I've actually had conversations with him. Credit Plug. I've actually had conversations with these people, and I don't like when you clickbait people because it'll draw them in. I don't like when you give out old information, or I don't like when you give it without context, right? So when you tell people that they can get all of this funding and all of this stuff, it's not as easy as that. The context is left out 9 times out of 10 because the context ain't sexy, right? The $150,000 business line of credit or the SBA loans or whatever it is they're pitching, those things are not easy to get, right? At all. But the context is left out of them, so there's something behind it. I always tell people, books are for sale, things are for sale. If they're saying something, it's for sale. Why the truth of it's left out, or the context in this situation is left out. So you have to be mindful. Credit for me has always been a vigilant thing, right? I've protected it because I learned from an early age how valuable it could be. And I don't I don't like when things are left out of context, whether it's something about Chase or whether it's something about American Express, Bank of America, it doesn't matter. These products are available, but the context for those products being left out is what can actually sabotage a person new to credit or a person that's fixed their credit, right? Because they don't know. And everybody wants funding, but funding ain't easy. And like I said in the last video with you, this is the new norm. So people better get used to it, right? The paperwork needed, whether it's a 4056, a 1099, whatever it is that you're doing, these things are going to become the norm. Business lines of credit without documentation and giving old information, I abhor that because that will really get somebody in trouble.
Yeah. Yeah. And by the way, that recording is available for everybody in the Discord for free. So the last one that Rev and I shot, I just uploaded for everybody. Sometimes I do it like that, sometimes I don't. But I can tell you that just having free access to the Discord, you're getting exclusive stuff that I'm not sharing on the YouTube channel and anywhere else. To kind of take what he just said and give you a real example of that, I could have easily, recently Dogs got a $51,000 Chase Inc. Business Unlimited card, right? I could have very easily taken that storyline and that thread. Oh, no docs, by the way. I could have taken that story and that thread and gone and made a video. 50K, 51K Chase card, no documentation, no social security number, no pulse, no nothing needed, right? That kind of frame. And I could have made that video and left out the fact that the only reason why that happened is because he has a BRM. He has a successful business that makes over $2 million a year. His stated income is strong. He had a BRM walk him through that situation, and that's what made it no docs. He has a previous relationship with the bank. See, that is the context that he's talking about. Is that, and that doesn't sound sexy though. You know, that doesn't get people engaged, and it's unfortunate that we're kind of in this whatever space that we're in right now to where that still works really well. But it's not always going to be like that, and that's why in the beginning of this, what I said was, you know, we've always strived to make very evergreen content. Meaning that you can come back to it years later and maybe something has changed, like a data point here or there has changed. But the overall big picture and foundation that we're trying to give you with this institution or with this situation has stayed the same. And so anyway,
I wholeheartedly agree too. And like, you know, me being new to business credit and I'm getting a lot of like the algorithm is sending me a lot of business credit videos and I'm just seeing a lot of like fake stuff people are saying. Just from the information that I learned over the Discord, I can debunk a lot of the stuff these YouTubers are saying in a quick couple of minutes. I'm like, yeah, that's fake. That's fake. Business loan with no docs. Where they do that at? You know what I'm saying? Like they're trying to finagle us to like, you know, buy into their program. And like, you know, they trying to finagle money out their watchers or out their followers, which is not cool at all. And I think like that's why it's great we have this community and we could like communicate with each other when like these YouTubers out here trying to mislead us.
Yeah. All right, sweet. Dog, what's up, dude? Welcome.
Oh, my boy Dog's in here?
Yeah, dude. We got everybody jumping in. Another OG since the beginning, you know? And what I mean by that is like, we started this thing so small. You guys got to remember is that we started with just a tiny free Discord with like 10 people in it. And it was all of us just talking and sharing. And I don't know how this all came to be, but I love it. Absolutely love it. So you're good, Dogs, if you wanna jump in.
I just gonna piggyback off what Revan said as far as, you know, that everybody's painting a false picture as far as, you know, there's no lock, no doc stuff. It's just, you know, and then you try to tell them and half of them don't want to hear it. But I posted what they required on that Chase be locked the other day. And I mean, it was extensive. And they still ask for stuff after the fact.
Yeah, like the documentation trail.
Man, Dogs, man, you sound like you from the country, man.
I am.
He is.
I am.
You sound like you from the neck of the woods, man.
I'm from the deep south, brother.
Deep south. One of the that might end up being one of the last refuges, hey, with how things are looking now. But we'll save that for another call. Yeah, not a bad idea, Joe. Do lives more often on the weekends, maybe midday or something. Yeah, could. I like that idea. I love the idea of just having you guys on and you know, giving you guys a space to to talk and share and, you know, do that. I love that idea.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm loving like all of the wins like in the in credit unions right now. Like DJ got a few wins. I'm seeing like a lot of DCU wins. I'm like those big limits, they still giving them out. That's really, really good to hear, man. These credit union hidden gems is really, really good to hear. You know, like a lot of times you see videos on YouTube tell you everything about a credit union, but don't tell you about the real wins. And seeing the real wins actually happen, like it's incredible because a lot of times we hear about like credit unions giving high limits, but to actually have the real data points is like really a substantial piece of evidence for us. You know what I mean? Like he got it, that means I could get it too. And I and I think that's really, really dope. You know what I'm saying? I still haven't got a huge credit limit from a credit union yet, but I'm definitely working on that. But like, ever since I got a taste of like the business credit, I don't even want personal credit no more. Like, y'all can keep that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all can keep that. I just want the business credit. Like I feel like that's like an infinite glitch. You know what I'm saying? Like
it is. It is. Yeah, let's not forget too. Like, who is the early ones talking about credit unions as the play for this year? That was Rev. That was GW. That was who's the other one? Pretzel. Like they were all, and then a lot of us, kind of started to notice that, and then we all were jumping on. I think as a community, we were all kind of jumping on that by the end of 2023. Is that's the play? And look, here we are, mid 2024, and that's exactly what's going on. That was the play. The relationships with credit unions and going that front. So Danny, I got you pulled up right here. I'm gonna show this, which I've never showed. I don't show is this is some Baxter data right here. This is like the data that I pull from to create the pages in the paid members area. By the way, the Master the Credit Game course, which I'll plug myself there for a sec. Plug my stuff,
BCU's already on you, man. You better take this off. They're already on.
Yeah.
They're already started on your video. You better take that off, man.
Yeah. I mean, and that's how it is. Like, do you guys remember over a year ago, Navy Fed came at us with a trademark infringement? Let's not forget that. Only YouTuber I know of that they went after for a trademark infringement. So that was kind of interesting. Here's Redstone.
Yeah, after Hood Rich is publicly making videos of him getting people in the Navy Fed back doorway.
No military affiliation, aka lying, generating what used to be considered fraud. And I'll just leave it at that because I want to try and stay neutral on this topic. But yeah, so it's interesting to see. Like you got somebody who's literally out there telling you to lie, which that's a pretty nasty thing to do, especially with like something like military affiliation and stuff. These banks and institutions were created to try and reward them. And vets have a hard enough time with stuff, man. It's like, now you're going to try and take their money too. In that sense that like the funding that's available to that type of person. And I get probably why Navy Fed turns the other way is because their bank, they got $6 billion in assets. They want to grow too. I understand all this, but it's like, man, I don't think that's the way. I don't think that's the way. And I'll just leave it at that. But anyways, that's enough of that. I'm going to go ahead and cut that.
I'll chime in on that one thing. If you know about companies like the Point Guy, right, which I'm sure plenty of people know, there's 10X Travel and all them. If you ever get emails from them, what happened to you is what they've already experienced. Unless they've got a licensing deal with those companies, they can't promote their credit products because there's a hole in the law that allows those companies to say, hey, you can't promote this unless we allow you to. So if they catch on to you, that's why they did to you what they did to you. 10X Travel, companies like the Point Guy, unless they have a licensing deal with those banks or those institutions, when they put out emails to you, they can't actually name the card in that email. It has to come to a link. And so if you ever get a 10X email, 10X Travel email, it'll never have the name of the card. It'll have a hyperlink to that card they're specifically talking about because they've already been ceased and desist by whatever institution it is. Like Chase is famous for it. Chase does not do company referrals like that at all. You better be a big company to pull that off. Even the Point Guy doesn't have a Chase referral promotional program like they do with others, or like 10x Travel doesn't have it with Chase either. And those are both big companies. But that's the law that allows them to force that on you.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. Danny, thanks for the
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yo, we got two of the heaviest hitting business credit guys in the group, man. And I want to ask you two a question, just for like everybody that's in the chat that wants to get into business credit. What is the best piece of advice that you could get that you could give to us that just getting into business credit? The best piece of advice for us that's our very in the beginning of the game. Because most of us are. A lot of us are not deep in like you guys. Some of us got a business card here and there. How do we really get the good stuff?
So if I can jump into, so specifically what you're asking is, how do we go from zero business credit to getting some, or how do we go from having a little to having a lot?
How you go from having a little to having a lot?
Okay. I'll let them jump in.
I'll let Revan go first.
First, everything comes like it's your business, right? What industry you're in? Is your business set up properly? I mean, everything. We're not talking about, hey, I went and spent $200 to create a LLC. We're talking about the phone number, the fax number, the emails, the website, et cetera, et cetera. All of those things being lined up and everything across your business matching like you would want it on your personal. That's first and foremost. Secondly, nothing, especially for a new business trying to get a lot of business credit, say those 40, 50, 60, $70,000 plus limits, nothing will help you more than your personal credit because they're always going to look at it. It does not matter. Unless your business is making millions of dollars a year, it's always going to come down to you and what your personal credit looks like, how long it is. This is why when people want to get business credit, the first thing I ask them is, hey, how much credit have you been getting recently? What does your credit report look like? And how much age is attached to it? Because that's going to play a significant role, right? Now, if your business is older, like some of mine, or maybe dogs or GWs, then that becomes the deciding factor more so than your personal credit because of how much it's making and all those factors that go into it and make it see it. So like me, I like a few companies, but I'm a primarily Chase guy because I've been with them so long and I worked at JP Morgan and I have relationships with them. So I know if I want something, I can go get it, but I don't always go to them because they don't have the best rates for a lot of things because they're Chase. I'll be honest with it, that Chase is not for everyone because of those factors, but you won't get $50, $60, $70,000 plus approvals by trying to hack the system. Not on the business side. It doesn't work the same as the personal. You can trick them with high deposits and an average credit profile, but you're not going to trick them and say, hey, let me get, say, $60,000 just by trying to trick them, right? Your personal profile plays such a major factor that honestly, you should protect it like it's the most expensive thing to you. So I equate it to protecting it like my daughter. I'm 46. I have one child, and that's all I ever wanted. And I protect my credit like her. I was in a conversation with, I think, the guy, John Orlando, and we were talking about American Express and all the Hilton cards. I don't get credit just to get credit on the personal side. I get it because it brings a significant value to something I'm trying to accomplish. That's about it. At this point, I looked it up. While I looked it up, it's actually 460. It's not 300. I was shocked, but I only have 9 credit cards, and my total limits are like 460. It's like 457, right? But that's it, because I just don't go get credit because I know the reality of it. My businesses can stand on their own because I've had them for a while, but for a guy like you just getting into the business space, you want to protect your personal credit like it's your child, because it's going to play the major factor for almost any institution. Now, credit unions don't fall into that, but there's a lot of credit unions that don't offer business products, but there are some that do, and your relationship with them plays a part. But if you're talking about like the Chases and the Amexes and whoever else is of the world, yeah, your personal credit is going to be the main deciding factor when it comes to those type of things. And business lines of credit, those have become a what would you say, a click word, right? 6 years ago, those weren't things talked about on social media. That wasn't a thing, right? And I always correlated to Chase. There's a reason why you don't see all these clickbait videos about Chase, because they have it set up the way that other banks do, and they wouldn't have had created so much debt in the last 3 years. You're not going to trick them with a bunch of bullshit to get a $250,000 business loan or to get a $150,000 business line of credit. That's not going to happen, right? But for you and anyone else in the group, it really comes down to your personal credit. You can really cut it basically to that. If they see you, and that means I'm talking about a fully balanced report, meaning they can see personal loans or car loans or mortgages or whatever it is. You need a balance. You can't have $100,000 in credit cards, no loans. Why? I said this in videos with Wallet before. Credit card is not true debt unless you spend the money. So they have no gauge to balance you on giving you money and paying it back. But if you have a mortgage, you have car loans, you have personal loans on that report, they get a better barometer of who you are to give you those type of funds, whether it's a business line of credit or whether it's a business loan and or your business in the same sense, right? So if that's happened for your business, it runs the same parallel. But if you're just beginning, obviously you don't have those. So it really comes down to making sure your credit profile is solid from top to bottom and it's well balanced. And all of this YouTube stuff where they're like, hey, you could do this and do that, that doesn't really work. Even Bank of America, I'll give you a perfect example, not to go on and end this real quick. Bank of America used to have this Turo thing and you could get all these cars. There were people getting like 6, 7 cars at a time. That's not as easy anymore because they got hip to it, right? So it is what it is. But if you have your profile lined up ideally properly and you have that balance to your profile, you put yourself in that 90+% bracket to be able to get those big lines of credit or to get those big credit card limits of, you know, because anybody would have, let's say, matter of fact, I just did it with my brother. I'll give you the perfect example. He's got about 2.4 years of history. I just got him American Express, and matter of fact, he just got another Chase card, right? Chase gave him like 17.1. Do not ask me how that happened. I don't know why it was 17,100. Maybe because he's coming close to his limit because he has stuff with them. But you can do that, right? But he has a balanced profile, so he has loans, history of loans there, and things of that nature to help balance that out. There's a lot of people that can get that. But to make that 3 times that number, there needs to be a lot more depth there.
Yeah,
That was
100%.
great. That was a great answer.
Dog, what do you got to add? Because I know you've kind of gone deep into bank rating and stuff like that. You got anything to add on that?
Yeah, to me, I think what a lot of people do, they don't go in there and actually talk to the relationship managers. They don't get to know them. They're a great resource. They're there for you. If you'll go in there and talk to them and build that relationship, and I know it's, a lot of people are not going to be able to get in the upper tiers of the bank rating right off the rip, but you don't have to. You just need to build that base. It's just like having a foundation for a house. You got to have something to start with, and once you get that started, I think everybody tries to spread themselves too thin. Also, if it was me starting out again, knowing what I know now, I would pick 3 business bank checking accounts that I wanted to work with, and I would take everything I could, and I would leverage my money in a round robin fashion to show transactional history and build a relationship with all 3 of them before I pull the trigger on anything. Because I've seen a difference in doing that this last go around. I mean, it's a big difference, for me anyway.
Yeah, got it. And I want to kind of fill in some gaps too, is like, there's a few key things that were hit on here is by Rev is, the personal profile has to have, we've got to have installment loans, mortgages that have been paid off and closed and, now new mortgages, all of this adds depth, that helps better answer the question to them is that, are you a liability or an asset? Or, is this a good idea to give you more money or a bad idea? So the quick hacks and the let's do this in 6 months, 12 months tends to graze over those facts. And in a zero interest rate economy, those things still worked. Obviously, go rewind the tape, go back a year, go back 2 years, all that stuff still worked. We're saying it's not going to work. It's not going to continue to work now. And what if this were to become, I guess the challenge question here is, what if this were to become the new normal and now moving forward, it's just going to operate this way? Are we going to continue to not like that, or try and search out for these new schemes and new, credit hacks or whatever? Or are we just going to adapt and adopt to what's going on with, the banks and the way that they're lending? Because like things like, and again, to cover another little gap is to go from a $17,000 approval with Chase to a $50,000 approval with Chase is one simple thing. I think is business profitability. They want to see that it's a business that's profiting. They saw that dog actually needed the 51,000 in credit, and then they used comparable credit to see that Synovus recently bumped them up to 50, and that's probably most of why that happened. There might be other things, but I'm going to say down the middle, it probably had to do with the fact that they looked at his actual profitability. They looked at what he's keeping in his balance in his checking account, what he's been processing over the last 90 days to 6 months. And then those were the determining factors. They saw, oh, hey, look, another bank just recently bumped him up to 50K. He is in need of 50K. So let's do similar. Let's respond in kind. That's the things that are mattering now. And that never really mattered before, or it did, but you could also caveat, come and do this thing over here, which is like a quick hack. Those things, those doors all seem to be closing pretty quickly. So anyway, that's kind of my feedback on that. What do you think of all this, Credit Kid?
Man, I think you all hit the nail on the head, man. Different aspects from everybody. So like to sum it up, y'all basically building a healthy credit profile, building transactional history, and making sure you have other higher limits on your report to correlate with everything. So that means like going high velocity is not as good as we think. Going on these credit app sprees to set us back a little bit. First, we got to actually gain that age, build those accounts up before we really start getting those high limits. We have to age our accounts before we get there. That's what I'm really hearing. We got to have an aged account. Yeah.
And essentially, yeah. And a great way to kind of bridge that gap, Danny was asking, is there a list of sole prop business credit companies? No, not really. There is a ton of banks that obviously allow sole proprietor as a tax designation or a business entity designation, however you want to look at it. The reason why we covered that really early on, like if you remember some of our first videos that we were kind of covering how to get up to that 100K and how to first get into business credit, is we were talking a lot about sole proprietor credit. And we did that for two reasons. Is one, a lot of people are scared to actually start getting business credit, as some people have echoed now in the chat. And then secondly is some people aren't in position to get actual business credit, and they don't want to go set up LLCs and entities. And now we got tax filings, and we got registered agent fees, and we got state filing fees, and we got all these other fees. They're not ready for that yet, but they want to test out some side hustles. Well, the best way to do that is something like sole proprietor credit, where it's like that bridge in between the two. So we can go out and experiment. It's not going to negatively affect our personal credit when we use it. Obviously, if you don't pay and things like that, it does. But and then it kind of allows us to experiment, find that side hustle that maybe we like, or helps us bridge in some sort of way to take us to the next step to then start getting business credit, right? So that's where I see that piece fitting. I don't know, maybe you guys have different thoughts on that, but yeah, that's how I see it.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah, cool. It looks like Rev jumped out, which that's cool. Again, appreciate all you guys coming on. This is fun. Like if we could do this and we just kind of rotate, the group that we bring on. Okay, there he is. This would be sick. Rev, welcome back.
I thought GW was supposed to be on here.
Yeah, I don't think so.
GW incognito, man. He ain't getting on, man. That dude,
No,
like, I don't even know if he's real. He could be a bot, man. For real.
he could be. And I'm going to say this publicly to put pressure on him. We never had that call where we dove into areas of your credit journey and we recorded it. We talked, I don't even know, over a year ago now. So I'm going to publicly put pressure on you now, bro. We never got that call to where we chatted and, shared more areas of your journey. And look, I understand if you don't want to, but I'm going to try and publicly guilt you now.
Yo, yeah, GW, come out, man. You the elder statesman, man. You just showed us the 90K
He's the
Amex card, man, and now you hotted.
Yeah.
Come out and play.
I would absolutely love that. I mean, talk about an OG in just credit in general, man. Like the guy's been with Amex since the 80s. I mean, probably one of the first big hitters in the Amex ecosystem. I mean, probably, right? There couldn't have been that many back then versus now. I mean, there's how many millionaires now versus how many were back then. And obviously we've got to take into consideration the value of money back then, but he's laughing. He's laughing in the chat. Good. We got to do that call or something. You come on a podcast or something like this. You got to jump on with us at some point.
Hey, he's got to come on here and drop some gems now.
Yeah, of course. All right. So questions, drop them in the chat. Like rare that I've never had these guys all on at once. Yeah, man, this is exciting. So if you guys got questions, drop in the chat and let's cover it now. Otherwise, maybe we'll just wrap it up, right? We're kind of pushing on an hour. And anything else you guys want to talk about, just take the floor. It's all yours.
I just want to get some insight from the master, OGW.
Me too. Me too.
He got to come out, man. He got to come out and play.
I don't think he realizes, like, I could sit and listen to that dude for like 8 hours just talking to.
Hey, yo, man, you know, boomers are skeptical of everything, man. They
All right. New algorithmic technology stopping app sprees. At this point, no. Is that going to be an issue 2-5 years down the road? Maybe. Take it step by step. That's the simplest answer I have for that. Next, what's your guys' perfect business card if you could make one? Oh, that's a good question. What do you guys think?
Mine would be a cross between the Plum card and the Chase Ink Unlimited, meaning it would give you the option where you could actually, instead of taking the cash back, you could actually roll it over to a 60-day pay, just to float if you needed it. And that's another thing too, is just having that flexibility.
Yeah, I like that. I'll jump in and just say, I would like a card that kind of offers, like what you're saying, an all-in-one. I want to be able to switch this, whether we do it in a rolling 30, 60, 90-day period, I don't really care. But I'd love to be able to switch from like taking my rewards in crypto, taking my rewards in cash back, rolling it forward to turn this into a net account, et cetera, et cetera. Like, I want the flexibility to be able to kind of move between those different, I guess you could say, program types, all with one card. That'd be sick.
For me, like the perfect credit card period is having a credit card that you can reach a bonus after every year of having the card. You know what I mean? So like that'd be a way you can keep a card active for a while. I think like after you hit that bonus on most of these cards, it's not even worth it anymore. Keep on giving a dog a bone. You know what I'm saying? So like,
yeah, especially with annual fees going up just about every year now. That would be sick. I like that.
Me personally, it depends. I like rewards. I like all that it can do and all that stuff, but I like cards. I get business cards that are specific to what I'm doing, right? Because it could be a great card. It could do whatever you want it to do, but if it doesn't fit your business, it makes no sense, right? The rewards thing I understand, but that is not my main focus. My main focus is how well that card operates for my business. and how much benefit I get from it for the business it's a part of, right? So for me, if I had to choose one or the one that has a style, I like the Chasing Cash Card because it covers so many things for my business phone, my business internet, everything, right? A whole lot of things. And then of course, everybody promotes online the whole office supply stuff. Yeah, do I have to go there and get stuff for the business many a times? Yeah, no question. So it's beneficial. But I like it because it covers such a vast area. And then if it had, I guess, if you want for point peoples and people that want all these rewards, if it had better than a one base, then yeah, that would make it. I don't think they'd ever do it to a car like that because it has such high multipliers for so many things, right? It's 5 times for like about 8 categories or something like that. It's ridiculous. But that card is my favorite overall, period. No annual fee, zero APR for the first year. How can you beat it?
Yeah. Yeah. Got it. I like it.
Yo, Rev, you too well calculated. Like you just like, yo, dude is structured about everything. Like everything must have a purpose. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, I like
I'll
that.
say this.
I like that refinement over time. That's what I think happened. If I'm not trying to bore you, but
No, I'll say what you said before. People that are like my age who've had credit for a long time, they have refined their what they are doing and how it benefits them. And like I've said in plenty of talks with you, my business cards are primary business first, right? The benefits personally are of little consequence to me because I have personal cards that so I'm calculating the movement reality that I've learned over the course of time. When you're new to credit or you're new to business credit in particular, you don't know. So you're trying to figure out. It's one of the reasons I was so well I stayed in the group because I like what he does. I like what he's doing. I do not like most of them that are out there because they promote bad behavior and they promote the wrong things, right? And the flashy thing in the window, as I always say, is what catches people, right? And gets them off path. Like for me, and I've said it, I was talking to a guy in the group and I've said it to a while before. I canceled that 18-year-old platinum card because it didn't benefit me anymore. It was not even a question. It was a thought, trust, okay, time to go. Right? But that's just how I am. But it's been refined over time because obviously at one point I was 20, I was 21, I was 22, and different things at that point in time piqued my interest, and I had to grow up to a certain extent too. But now at 46, it's all calculation, right? Because if you have a real business and you're doing real business things, I would say, and that should be the point of getting business credit at some, you make your business profitable and then you can work for yourself. A bad calculator could cost you a lot, taxes, IRS things or illegalities, whatever from state to state, it can cost you a lot. And that's how I see it, right? Because at the end of the day, they always come back and I'll say in this, whatever, the RPG thing, they have media, absolutely the most beast thing in your life. If you default from business, they're going to work and do the more. They're none of that. I think last year, this seemed like, what was it, like 12,000 or something like that over credit?
bro, you're cutting out.
So if you
You're cutting out bad. We missed like the whole core point of that. Was that just me or was that everybody?
No, it was in and out.
Ah. All right, try it again.
But for me, like I said, it needs to be calculated. If you're going to dive into the business credit realm, you're going to do the business credit thing, right? Or whatever that is, then be calculated, pay attention to the things that are necessary, whether it's your personal credit, the business credit, make sure all your paperwork's lined up and get things that benefit your business. One thing I see a lot of people make a mistake is they'll put themselves before their business. That can't be the case, especially with a new business. In that first year or two, The rule was, well, first 1 to 3 years, all businesses fail, right? So if you put for the business, you'll be number. Your business will fail. Whether it's my credit
Yep.
cards or whatever I'm doing, those things are all first primary. And then secondary is me. And I keep them separate for a reason.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear you. Okay, let's do a couple more questions and then let's wrap it. Where can I see Vantage for scores? I don't know. I think at some point you could on Wings or Baxter. I'm not sure if that ended up to be true. PayPal, there was whispers of PayPal even giving you Vantage for scores. I don't know if any of you guys got insight on that. Sync, yeah.
Man, PayPal don't even give scores.
I don't know. I don't know on that. That's actually a really good question, and I think that's an ongoing issue. Like over the last couple of months, is nobody really knows where to go to get it. So if you know, comment on this video. Let us know. Okay, what's the deal? Let's do this one. What's the deal with pending applications, and do you ever think Gemini credit card closes in the future? I'll cover the second part. In my opinion, I think Gemini credit card does close. I think Gemini will go through issues just like FTX did, just like BlockFi did, just like Binance just went through troubles. Will there be enough for them to stay afloat? Yes, but at some point, I just assume that they're going to ditch the credit card. Yeah, because I also think it's a good credit card, to be fair. The rewards, especially if you time the usage and the rewards you're getting into Bitcoin or ETH, and we're in the middle of a solid market, then you have the potential to outweigh gains to interest, or make those rewards really, really work for you. So I like the card. But I don't know what you mean by what's the deal with pending applications. When something goes pending, give it 12 to 24 hours and then immediately start calling and find out what's going on. That's my feedback on that. Which a lot of people don't do. I don't know what it is, but there's like this fear to call the bank and talk to them, that they're like the boogeyman or something. So I would just say, yes, get over it, call them and talk to underwriting or the reconsideration line, which is we call a recon line, and find out what's going on. All right, what else we got? Okay. Yeah, I think there's a bunch of chatting amongst yourselves. Any other last minute questions? I thought somebody asked something about Experian. There it is. What is this? Why would my Experian FICO drop 16 points when there is no change in my credit report except I paid down my debt? I have 174,000 available with using only 2%. It was only Experian score that dropped. That happens. Didn't Angie talk about doing that? Yes. And this is where like AZEO or A0, whatever you want to call it, comes into place. All cards, 0 except 1. Stuff like that comes into play. But when you have a larger amount and your DTI is really good and then you don't have a lot of usage, is sometimes you can see fluctuations like that. Yeah, so I think Angie dealt with that. We've actually got that outlined in the general chat. I don't remember what she did. Didn't she just go and put usage on the card?
Yep, got it up to like 3.5%, 4%.
Yeah, there you go. So you're at 2%, 3.5 to 4 is what it sounds like is where you probably should be at. Somebody asked, what's good DTI for a mortgage? I actually have no idea, but that's probably pretty public information.
Yeah, that's like public information. Like, yeah, with 28%, you can still get a mortgage. 'Cause I just got a mortgage loan with like 32. So
yeah, the debt dropped the average age of account is what GW said. All right, cool. Any last minute questions? Otherwise, we'll wrap up. Give it another second here. Minute. Hell yeah, dude. This was fun. Like if we did like this, I would do this all the time. Maybe that's the next iteration is do like podcast style, huh? What do you guys think about that?
Well, I'm all about it, but I'm gonna have to get on GW's rear end.
Yo, GW, pull up for the podcast.
I think, man, that like over time, oh my God, the value in that. Holy cow. That's like
Oh,
a video that you download off the internet and hold on to forever.
yeah.
Holy
Like
cow.
if you come up with topics and we all just jump on and discuss these topics, man, like and you do these live streams, man, like that'd be really dope. I
Yeah.
don't think, but
Let's see.
we just gotta have a topic. We just can't be on here just yapping randomly. You know what I'm saying? So
Hey, that's not bad either. That's not bad either. Yeah, I think that's it.
Cool.
Getting savvy to sweeping inquiries. Okay, let's cover this last one and then we'll wrap it there. The process, here's my feedback on this, and obviously you guys can, jump in. The process for what the credit bureaus can see and what they and how they're I guess combating letters and automated stuff, Metro 2, all of that'll continue to escalate. It's like letters only last so long, and then once everybody starts copying them and then selling them as their own, and then we get this trickle down effect of the quality of the template, and enough people are using it, then it stops working. And that'll always be true. I think you're always it's gonna be a tug of war forever. Is you're gonna always come up with this new way to do it, and then they're going to figure out ways to make it really hard, like Equifax does. They change their fax number, they disconnect the phone line, calling in doesn't work anymore, you got to mail us, and they are constantly changing the process to make it hard. And we can only assume they do that on purpose. But again, I'm just speculating on that part of it. And so unless something changes with the CFPB or at the FTC-ish level, these 3-letter organizations, 4-letter groups, unless something changes there, I expect a cat and mouse game to continue for infinity.
The one thing I'll say that I noticed with Equifax here lately, they kept giving me a hard time, even on the CFPB and the FTC method. I just went ahead and started having everything notarized.
Yeah, interesting. So you already had somebody lined up and you just go to them and get it notarized every single time now?
Yeah, you can do it online.
What are you using for that online? Are you using the site?
Yeah, there's a site you can get notarized on. I mean, there's notaries online. You can just send the document to your FTC identity theft report.
Yep.
Go ahead and have it notarized, and then they can't say, "Oh, we don't know if it's you or not."
I did not know you could do notary online. That is interesting.
Yeah, in my opinion, maybe they could do, because if you read the FCRA, it's impossible for them to just try to eliminate the whole sweeping of inquiries due to the fraud pieces that are in there, right? So I think they might create some type of algorithm like they did with Oscar, right? The e-Oscar program that they all implemented. What was that, about 8 years ago or something like that? I don't know. It's been a while, but something similar to that, where a profile gets red flagged for consistent inquiry sweeping, right? And then moving in that direction. Maybe something like that you could see in the future, but right now, no. There's no real way for them to implement something other than a program like eOscar to be able to flag a profile for inquiries, because the FCRA only allows them to move so much in those fraudulent and/or sweeping of inquiry type of things. So unless federal government changes creates loopholes for them within the law, which I don't see happening, then no. People who want to sweep inquiries will be able to, and your success rate will be based on probably the institution, because it really, from all data points, it goes what? Experian's the easiest, TransUnion's next, and then Equifax is the hardest. Most people claim they have a super hard time with Equifax, so I think that'll probably be when and if they ever do something like that. But at the end of the day, it doesn't really create an issue for them per se, right? It creates the issue when they don't remove something that actually should be removed. So they don't want that, but no, maybe like something like eOscar probably that they would create to do that, I think might be a possibility.
Okay, got it. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. All right, guys, let's cut it there. Thank you so much for jumping on with me. I really appreciate it. This has been a lot of fun. Hopefully you guys found value that tuned in. share this, comment, once the video is finished processing and all that fun stuff. And, that'll help get this in front of more people. And yeah, I think we'll go from there. We'll go to work on maybe doing something like this on a more consistent basis. I'll see if we can make that happen. But again, thank you so much, guys, for jumping on, tuning into the stream, and be on the lookout. We've got another video dropping maybe Saturday, Sunday, or Monday, and that'll be covering all the recent wins from just April, which is insane. It's like over 150,000 from the community, but it's most likely a lot more because there's stuff pending. Anyway, I think you'll like that video. We deep dive some data points, give you some fresh intel. So anyways, till next time, see you.